Hi everyone, welcome to the Sacred Water. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that the last 2 weeks has treated you well. I don't know about you guys, but the energy the last 2 weeks since the total eclipse, it's just been absolute insanity. I have been trying to keep my head above the water with everything that just came out of the woodwork, and I've been sort of like just barely keeping it together. So I hope that you guys have fared better than me. But the energies really are completely off the rails. Ever since the eclipse, I have been feeling a lot of anxiety for no reason. A lot of things were coming out that I've been having to deal with. We have also the 4 solar flares on the 23rd, as well as the full moon of the on the 23rd, which was the pink full moon, which was a scorpionic full moon. Scorpio energy can be very, to some, can be rather disruptive because it brings a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of things that are fluctuating, things that are coming up from within yourself and without, that are going to want to push you in the direction of self-reflection, so that there is this transformative energy that is trying to give the space for everyone to be doing their own inner work. There are other conjunctions and sort of crossings of planetary alignments and all sorts of things that I don't completely understand. But what I do understand from them is that all of these have a major impact, and all of them together in such a short space and time really does contribute to a massive wave of part of the enlightenment process, I guess. There's a lot of people that are saying that it's a rev up to the big solar flare that is going to be bringing in enlightenment. I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure if and when that's going to happen. A lot of the mythologies say it will at some point. What I do know is that these energies are very strong and very palpable. And ever since the solar flare, I have been getting the message of we need to sort of do grounding work, as well as working with mental flexibility, so that we're able to move and sway with the changing winds, but still remaining anchored and being able to see what it is that is coming down the pipe, and being able to make decisions clearly without having emotions that are overwhelming us and clouding our judgment and discernment. There's a lot of information that is coming. There's a lot of conflict going on. So there's a lot of stress. A lot of emotions are riding high. And so we need to sort of bring it down. You can even tell from my own emotions right now. I feel like I am going 1,000 miles per hour, and yet I'm standing still right here in front of you. So it became even more apparent on the 23rd, which incidentally was my birthday. Uh, it did not feel like a normal day. It certainly did not feel like a normal birthday. It felt like the energy was very unsettled. There was a lot going on. I have not been able to sleep because the energy has had me so revved up that even though I've been very, very tired, I go to bed and it's like somebody gave me a shot of caffeine. So I do believe that this work is going to be very important moving forward, just so that we are able to keep putting one foot in front of the other. In all honesty, that's essentially what it comes down to. With so many problems in the economy and all of the other things that are going on, there's just way too much going on, way too much stress, way too much emotions. Let's try to bring it down a little bit and try to take a deep breath. And I know I have to tell myself that a lot. Please don't mind my hands. I have a little band-aid here. I had a little splinter that got a little infected, and my hands at this time of year, as well as in the fall, tend to be the worst, and they end up bleeding a lot. You'd think winter would be bad, and it's bad enough, but for some reason, the liminal spaces are the ones that are the worst. maybe there's a little message or, a little bit of a lesson there for me to look into, but I'm going to postpone that for later. Um, just wanted to encourage you guys to, if you haven't done so already, to sign up to like, follow, share, and subscribe, just so that we can keep growing this community. I know that lately it has been very chaotic, my upload schedule. Like I said, I am just trying to keep my head above the water with everything that is going on. So I do hope that you guys bear with me. I am hoping that as things settle down someday, that it'll become a lot more regular. In the meantime, I do appreciate those of you that have already subscribed and that are supporting my work. I really, really, really appreciate it, because without you guys, I mean, there would really be no point of me coming forward and trying to help everybody else if nobody really wanted what I had to offer. So, that being said, let's still all just get ourselves comfortable and try to take a few big deep breaths to see if we can just manage to get our bodies to a point where we can just be. So sit down somewhere comfortable, or lie down if you prefer, and just stretch out all your limbs as much as possible, and just go from your head down all the way down to your toes, scanning your body as you go. And anywhere that you find any bit of tension, try to release it gently. Take a deep breath in and out. Very good. Take another deep breath in and out. And one last deep breath in and out. Very good. Now I have collected here in a basket all the crystals that could possibly be used for grounding and mental flexibility. Of course, there's a rather big list out there, and I'm just going to start picking whichever spirit guides me and wants me to use for this session. I will leave the list down below of all of the crystals that I have used, as well as some of the other ones that you could use for the same use. There is a big list, and of course your own experience with crystals will also determine some of the choices that you might make. For example, during the course of my studies, I had found out that not everybody uses the crystals in the same way, because not everybody's experience with them is the same, because your energy will interact with the crystals. And so, like with any medication, I guess, your own chemistry will have an input in how the interactions occur. And so, for example, this lady, in my studies, there was this book that was gifted to me by my family, and this lady used howlite in a very different way from the way I do. She used it as a very powerful, energetic crystal, but in my case, I find it to be rather calming and soothing. And so, in moments like this, my go-tos for grounding and calming would be black tourmaline and howlite. I will also be leaving a link down below of some of the information for these crystals. because even though I love books, sometimes the links can be very convenient, and it can also provide links to other things, and so you can gather a lot of information in a very short time. So that will be in the link. The link will be down below in the description if you're ever interested, as well as all the list and the informations of all the crystals that I will be using today and other possibilities as well. And so, scanning your body for any tension, making sure that you're breathing in and out, that your breathing is not shallow, but deep and regular in its own rhythm. Take a deep breath in and out. So to begin, I'm going to be using something that I've never really used before in this big of scale. I used it last year, a small little piece, in a similar fashion, I guess. I'm going to be working with a beautiful shell. Of course, this is abalone. And so, it being related to water and related to emotions, we're going to be using it to clear and cool and soothe. Sometimes when things are happening and we're having a hard time coping, or we're having a hard time trying to push through and succeed with something, or just finish with a situation, occasionally we will blame ourselves for not being able to do what it is that we wanted to do. And so forgiveness is a big part of it, especially when you're going within to do the work, doing a little bit of self-analysis. And so abalone comes in to cool and soothe and cleanse emotions so that we come back to center and we are able to start feeling a little bit better and thinking a little bit more clearly. Of course, this is about helping to soothe those emotions so they become a little bit easier to transmute and process, so that we can release them a little bit better, going through your back, making sure that your whole auric field and your subtle bodies get the beautiful energy of the shell. Very good. Putting in those light codes, those beautiful gentle colors. We're going to be using the Reiki to cleanse and clear. Very good. So I would like you now to close your eyes and imagine that you are at the edge of what is essentially a prehistoric lake. There's almost a primordial feel to the plants around you. The air is warm and humid, but in a good way, like a nice summer day. Not too humid, but enough that you can smell the water, and you look out and you see that beautiful prehistoric lake, and you see something that is rather interesting coming out of the water, like little plates of stone. And so you feel guided to move forward to the edge of the water and take a closer look. At the water, you will see more closely those little plates of stone that form a nice little pathway to a little center island. And the island is made of the same sort of stone. that stone is Stromatolite, also related to the water element. Stromatolites were actually living beings. Some say they were a bit more part of the plant life. Others think they were a bit more in the animal life. I think they were kind of like coral, a little bit of both, embracing both worlds, essentially. Now, the biggest thing about stromatolite, of course, it is grounding. So as soon as you step onto it, you feel a beautiful, big, and deep connection to Mother Earth. You feel anchored. You feel embraced by her. But also, stromatolite is a filter. It used to filter in the water, and you could say it could have been eating some of the plant life as well as other little tiny little animals like plankton and whatnot, clearing away all that. So it has that ability to clear away, filter, and transmute. So I will be putting this piece of stromatolite by your feet to help keep you grounded throughout the session. But before I do that, I'm going to gently rub it throughout your body, throughout your aura, so that that feeling of being grounded and connected to Mother Earth increases, giving you that feeling of stability and increasing your relaxation with every breath you take, bringing it down your chakra line, all the way down between your feet. Very good. Now, there's a lot of grounding crystals that will help not only with the grounding process, but releasing anxiety and stress. Some of these are tiger's eye. I don't know where my big tiger's eye is. It seems to have been misplaced somewhere in the house. And so I have this tiny little piece. I'm gonna have to play around with the auto focus. At any rate, this one will help you ground, but as well release feelings of anxiety as well as any fears, bringing the element of courage so that we can keep taking steps forward when we need it, and giving you that space as well to take a pause if that is what you need as well. It brings in balance, enhances clear thinking, clearing away confusion. So grounding is important because it can bring that moment of realization forward. Very good. Now, there's a big host of other ones as well that allow for the cleansing. And one of these is, of course, the smoky quartz. It not only allows for cleansing of negativity, cleansing of the aura, but also anything connected to past lives, your present life, and future lives. And so we continue with the grounding work as well as cleansing, and cleansing. Of course, you have it in different forms. This is even more recognizable as a smoky quartz. I'm going to use it to cut away any attachments that no longer serve, any attachments that are not part of the plan in this lifetime, anything that is not appropriate for this lifetime, like promises made, vows of poverty, and such things, so that you are able to move forward without any of these strings and attachments weighing you down and pulling you in the wrong direction. Clearing away anxiety, clearing away all of those things that will hinder your mental flexibility and not allow you to be able to see clearly what you need to do and be able to take clear and concise decisions. Very good. Pulling away those strings now that they've been cut. Very good. Clearing it away from the throat area. One that leads not only to clear communication, but also carrying those past and future lives as well as your present. Very good. Take a moment to check in again with your body, that you're beginning to really relax and sink into the cushions or the mattress, that you're not holding any tension. Breathe in and out. Seiki. Very good. Take another deep breath in and out. So, as I mentioned earlier, one of my go-tos is black tourmaline and howlite. Having both grounding and that feeling of lightening up, releasing a lot of the anxiety, any sort of emotions that might be making themselves a little too strong to handle, that might even bring in a lot of heaviness and stress to the mind, and so clouding one's judgment and not allowing oneself to be able to discern that which might be helpful. And so we're just going to do a passing with the black tourmaline. Of course, the black tourmaline is not only cleansing to all the chakras, but it is also very protective and very grounding. It has a nice heavy feel in the hand, not just energy wise, but also physically, adding a level of security to the energy. Very good. Take a deep breath and out. So for me, tourmaline howlite is very cleansing, but it has more of a cooling quality. It allows me at least, with that's been my experience, to bring out down any tempers that might have flared, uh, anything that, any emotions really that are just very, very high. Being a sensitive person as well as an empath, I am overloaded with emotions from my family members, from people that I meet in the street all the time, my neighbors. They're close enough that I can pick up on their energy from time to time. And it isn't always a bad thing or negative, but it is overwhelming because it adds a level of weight and adds another layer of things that I need to sift through and sort of analyze and make sure that I am honoring those emotions, even though they're not mine, processing them because they actually do bring lessons for me as the empath. And so when I encounter those emotions for myself, I'm a little bit more able to deal with them. And Highlight helps me with that because it makes them less intense and therefore a lot more manageable. You can imagine that, if I'm picking up neighbors' emotions, not just someone who would just passed me in the store very close by physically, then those emotions have to have been very, very strong and amplified. And so, like I said, not always negative, but not always easy to deal with. And so, passing it through your crown chakra, third eye, throat, higher and lower heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. Through your back, through your side, feet, and the other side. Take a deep breath in and out. Very good. Now, Botswana agate is an interesting little crystal. I only have a tiny one. Let's see if it'll pick up those beautiful little lines. Still trying to get used to the reversed angle of the camera. No. But it usually has a beautiful lattice work around it that may be a little bit easier to pick up. At any rate, Botswana agates are very, very interesting because they help you with handling big changes. And so they help with the transition of all of these things that might happen within a day, a week, a month, a year, a lifetime. And these big moments bring a lot of upheaval. We don't always welcome change. We don't always like change. But change is necessary so that we don't stagnate, so that we learn, so that we move forward. And sometimes spirit just gives a little kick in the butt, saying you've stood still too long. You need to keep moving. And so having Botswana agate handy can help with that. It helps you bring your mind back to positivity and seeing the change not as a bad thing or a negative thing, but allowing you to see the good in it, the positivity in it. It also supports if you're going through mental health issues, it can be very supportive in that way, and amplifying that feeling of being able to see the positive side of everything, which also brings down the stress and thus makes it easier for you to think clearly when you need to. Well, we obviously always have to, but when emotions are high, it's a little bit harder. And so this little stone, a big one if you have one, can help with that. It's It's a little interesting stone. It has a balmy kind of energy to me. This is how I perceive its energy. It's got a soothing, balmy sort of energy. What rather warm, actually. Through your back, one side, the other, through the crown. Very good. Do another Seiheki, Chokure. Deep breath in and out. Very good. And my own. So now that whenever you need it, you can come back to it. It will also go backwards and forwards in your timeline to help with any of these issues. Another deep breath in and out. Daikumyo. Daikumyo. I have my notes here. There's just too many little bits and pieces to remember otherwise. And I want to make sure that I don't give you the properties of one instead of the other. There's a lot of stones out there, and really, I do know most of them, but when it comes to very specific work, I want to make sure that I get it right for you guys. So I won't show you my chicken scratches, though. They're pretty bad. All right, so let's see. One thing that can help whenever we are dealing with big changes or even just big spiritual energy that is just driving you a little loopy, Lapis Lazuli. Although Sodalite is one of them. This one can help your mind organize itself, as well as helping you with organizing your life. These things can also bring down that sense of being prepared, being grounded, and so a little bit of clearing of the mind so that we are able to deal with whatever it is that we're dealing with. It gives us that mental space, if you will, as well as helping with communication. It's rather powerful in its work. So if you have a restless mind or you're over busy, this is a good one to just hold or keep it within your auric field to help bring that down to a more calm, peaceful, centered space. Take a deep breath in and out. Very good. Now, the next one that I'm going to be using is Moonstone. This one is a little rainbow moonstone. You can kind of see a little bit of that blue flash there. I need to play around with this camera and try to find the best setting for the focus so that you get to enjoy, even though they're a little small, you get to enjoy the crystals as much as I do visually, as well as receiving its energy and light codes. Now, Moonstone is very nice, rather protective, feminine energy. It's got that nurturing energy within. It's one that I associate greatly with the goddess of the moon, me being pagan, of course. She is Mother. I guess you could associate her to Mother Mary, if you like, for those of you that are Christian. Kuan Yin is another beautiful energy that is very associated to this stone for me. And so this stone, moonstone, is rather calming and soothing, but it also allows you to have calm responses, especially when the energy ramps up and you feel that sort of nervous, anxious energy. And so it helps you not to overreact, keeps you calm and grounded, and allows you to be able to come up with the responses that you need to come up with and be able to deliver them in an appropriate manner. Through your crown chakra, third eye, throat, higher and lower heart, solar, sacral, root. Beautiful. The next one that I'm going to be using is Hematite. To me, this color is the color of glacial waters. Very, very cold, deep waters. So it's a stone that I associate very much with a lot of deep internal work. Very precise internal work. Now it can bring everything that you're working with. It can bring it all into balance. It can help with maintaining a focus so that you can learn better, so that you can communicate better. It just brings in that sort of inner peace, which is something that I find when looking at deep, deep blue, cool waters. That's the sense that I get, is deep inner peace. And when you have these energies like we've been having for the past 2 weeks that are just constantly revving us up, having that, it's like diving into a cool pool in the hottest day of summer. It brings that instant relief. There are many other properties to this crystal. Many of them are actually good physical ones for the body. It is essentially a mineral that is, if I understand it correctly, once upon a time, it was bone. And so it helps in healing bones. If you have any problems with your teeth, having it close can helps with the healing of it, and it helps your body regenerate a little bit more quickly. But in this case, when we're talking about grounding and mental flexibility, it does exactly that by using more of the emotional side of that grounding, or sort of bringing that level down to a balanced place. Take a deep breath in and out. Very good. There's a lot of these crystals, like I said. There's quite a lot of notes. Now, hematite is the next ones that I'm going to be using. Hematite also is related to the blood and the nervous system, and it has a rather heavy metallic component to it. It has a tendency to rust, and therefore it derives its name from hemoglobin or hematite. I don't quite remember that. It's hemo something. It has to do with the blood, and it's the Greek word for blood. Now, I am quite sorry that I'm not very good at Greek. I had friends that were Greek, and They might be a little bit upset that I wasn't able to remember at least the word, and my archaeology friends might be a little upset about that too, but oh well. We can't remember everything now, can we? There's sometimes an overload. But it has this beautiful grounding effect, and it sort of magnetizes the energy. And anything that is magnetic can attract good and positive things to it, but it can also be grounded more easily. So it is a good one for that. Now, I have it written here somewhere. It helps with mental organization as well as grounding. It decreases negative thinking and balances the mind, body, and spirit. So to me, that all makes sense because of that. That, like I said, it has a component that brings in the blood. We have metal in our bloodstream, and we have this magnetic quality as well with hematite. This one isn't specifically magnetic, but it can become magnetic at any point. And so we are able to sort of wrap and transmute emotions as well as the physical body and thoughts, and be able to process them and ground them and bring everything back to center. And so I'm using these two pretty little hexagonal hematite pieces, and I am using them throughout your auric field, your cell bodies, to bring your mind, body, and spirit back to a center position. Take a deep breath in and out. Very good. Nice. Okay. Now I'm going to be using labradorite. Labradorite usually is well known for its properties working with the third eye chakra. So when it comes to sort of bringing our mind back to a more calm space and bringing ourselves to a more grounded position, how does the third eye work for us as well? So in these situations, sometimes we just need that support for a clear inner eye, one that allows us to remove illusion, to open up that eye so that we can see clearly. It brings in balance, reduces stress and anxiety, and increases our intuition, which will be very much necessary when we are in a situation where we need to take a decision rather quickly, and we need to be able to recognize the difference between that anxiety and fear that might be propelling us in one direction and what actual intuition is. Intuition is calm, intuition is quiet, and there's a level of certainty, and it has that, the moment you recognize it, it sort of brings down the stress levels. Now, a lot of these crystals have that potential to help reduce the physical signs of stress, reducing blood pressure. All of these things actually help your body reduce the cortisol levels and the stress that a lot of these energies or situations might bring into one's life. And so bringing in that level of illumination into the third eye so that we can see clearly. I'm gonna rub one eye, the other eye, bringing it through the crown chakra, down through your chakra column. Breathe in and out. Reiki. Very good. Now, one of these stones, the properties of this stone when it comes to helping us ground and achieve mental flexibility is the Sunstone. It has this ability to dispel fears and phobia. So removing that particular heavy weight will definitely clear the mental space, and also has this ability of transmuting negative situations and energies that might be negative or just too overwhelming, and transmuting these. Now, one of the biggest, most interesting things about Sunstone, as well as being lucky and bringing in abundance and light into one's life, what it does is that it allows all the channels to be cleared so that you can communicate more easily with your spirit guides, so that you can hear the guidance and the messages and the lessons that they might be providing for you to help you in your journey. And having that clear communication with them, as well as your higher self and spirit, is essential when we have situations that emotions might be too high and the energy might not be necessarily the most conducive to be able to hear them. And so bringing in the Sunstone energy is quite nice. Now, Sunstone comes in different colors. This is more of a golden peachy color, but I have other ones that are a bit more mauvey and pink and some really nice funky colors. Sunstone is a beautiful, beautiful energy to bring in to this healing. I'll take a deep breath in and out. Very good. Now, of course, you can use kyanite and all sorts of other ones to help support your whole system. Whenever you have stress, I have black as well as blue. Now, the interesting thing about both of these is that they're very high intensity and energy. It's not something that I would necessarily use when you're experiencing high, crazy energy. To help you come back to center. I might use the blue one because it helps with communicating more with your spirit guides and opening up that channel. They're very, very high vibrations, so not everybody reacts calmly to these. So if you react well to these stones for this particular purpose, then it would be a good idea to have them at hand. Instead, I am using a beautiful piece, double pointed here at the top and one end at the bottom, of clear quartz. It's a very high energy in this one. I have a feeling that this one might be Lemurian, but I can't be certain. This is a local one, and so You can't really call it Lemurian seed, but all I know is that it's very, very high energy. But even though it is high energy, I'm using it here to bring in beautiful bright white light and amplifying the energy of the crystals that we have used already in this session. I'm bringing in that beautiful white light codes, chakra, daikumyo. It has this beautiful, warm feeling to the energy of this particular crystal. Bringing it down through your chakra line, the bottom of your feet, your hands. Very good. And so, amplifying the Reiki energy, bringing it in to your aura and your chakra line. Daikumyo. Very good. To close out and sort of seal in the work, I'm going to be using the selenite. Now, selenite is also a very high vibrational crystal, and it also has a very calming and soothing feel to it. And so, sealing in that work, the energy of all of these beautiful crystals and the energy of the Reiki healing, sealing in, cleansing that which I might have missed. Through your back. Very good. Your side. One foot. The other foot. Through the other side. Your crown chakra. Third eye. Throat. Higher and lower heart. Solar. Sacrum. And root. Very good. Take another deep breath in and out, amplifying the bright white light, bringing it down into your auric field and your chakra line. Very good. Chakra. Daikumyo. Daikumyo. Forgive the growls of my stomach. I missed lunch. But I decided, you know what? You guys need this more than me needing my lunch. I will be having an early dinner, so it's all good. And there we go. Fluffing up your aura. Through your back on one side. Through the other. Through the center line. And smoothing it down so that is nice, pink and fluffy, but smooth and able to protect you, giving you that ability to transmute emotions, negative energies into positive. Now, we have arrived to the end of this session. I hope that it has helped with a little bit of bringing in peace and a little bit of calm, and hopefully bringing down a lot of those nervous energies that have been all around us for the past 2 weeks. It's been intense, and so I hope that this has been able to give you, pardon me, I might need a little snack before dinner. I hope that this has been helpful in some way, that it gives you that possibility of grounding and bringing in a little bit of inner peace and bringing in that mental flexibility so that you're able to cope and deal with all the things that have come down the pipe, will come down the pipe. I don't know what these solar flashes mean, but something intense is coming down. And with that full moon in Scorpio, your guess is as good as mine what kind of changes are coming down, but they're for sure coming down, and I wanted to give you a little something to help you as things come down, and being able to give you that peace of mind and that mental space so that you can open up to your spirit guides and spirit, be able to hear their advice and their lessons, and help you move forward and making decisions and acting and reacting and saying things in a way that is appropriate. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I am out here and I don't take the time to ground it out, I might lash out, and I don't necessarily mean to. Of course, I might be upset, and in that moment, it feels necessary to lash out. But we both, all of us, know that it never leads in a good place. So I hope this helps with these energies and helps you be able to sway with the wind, but remaining anchored and calm in your little space. And then once the storm passes, we are able to move freely again. I hope to see you again soon. I hope that you have liked this video. If you have, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe so that we can continue growing this beautiful community. I hope I've earned your subscription, and lots of love from me to you. Love and light, and blessed be.